Well, Matt Gaetz, holy smokes, I tell you, had a moment that was brutal, let me tell you. He made a mistake. Instantly, you'll see it in his face, regretted it. And it was pretty cringe to watch. So I'm going to show you, instead of setting it up a bunch, I'm going to show you, and then we'll discuss. And this is during a hearing about the money that's being given to Ukraine in their defense of themselves.
We do. We have a couple dozen at the embassy.
Other than the embassy, any other personnel?
Nope.
How about CIA? Are they training folks in Ukraine?
Not going to talk about that in an unclassified setting. Happy to talk about that further in the classified briefing.
Is the Azov battalion getting access to U.S. weapons?
Not that I'm aware of, but if you have information,
I seek unanimous consent to enter into the record the Global Times investigative report that that talks about training. It's from the Atlantic Council's Digital Forensics Research Lab, citing that the Azov Battalion was even getting stuff as far back as 2018.
Without objection, so ordered.
Any reason to disagree with that assessment, Dr.
Is this the? I'm sorry. Is this the Global Times from China?
No, this is. Well,
that's what you read.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, would that be a reason?
As a general matter, I don't take Beijing's propaganda.
Well, no. Yeah, but just
value.
tell me if the allegation is true or false. I mean,
I don't have any evidence one way or the other. As a general matter, I don't take Beijing's propaganda at face value.
Fair enough. I would agree with that assessment. April 20.
That did not go well for old Matt. So they're citing, and reminder that this is coming from the side, a member of the side that is constantly saying the left and Biden is so pro-China, and then he's just, to make his point, openly citing what is openly a Chinese propaganda source. And I want to note that on the Azov Battalion, and when they talk about the history of corrupt activity within the Ukrainian government, all of these points that are made, whether not true or true, again, there is a history in Ukraine of corruption within their government, are just distractions from the one point they refuse to make a valid argument about, which is, how does anything you could say here justify Russia wanting to take over and attempting to take over and occupy Ukraine? It doesn't. There are major flaws with Ukraine. That doesn't mean their citizens and their country should be destroyed by an authoritarian government that's looking to expand their empire. And that is what bothers me so much. It's a distraction. It's a diversion. It's trying to take the conversation and make us engage about something that has nothing to do with the central question. Do we want to, as the most powerful country in the world, assist in the victims' defense of themselves in this situation with Russia's invasion of Ukraine? That's the question. So all these distractions are just that. And there he wasn't even able to effectively discuss the distraction. But pretty enraging stuff. And then it was not, things were really not going well for Matt Gaetz yesterday, whenever these clips came from, because Eric Swalwell, Democratic representative, called out another political stunt Matt Gaetz had done and just how absurd it really was.
The very first committee hearing of this Congress, Mr. Gaetz, after we had all agreed on what the committee's plan was going to be, it was going to be voice voted, everyone agreed, Mr. Gaetz wanted to offer an amendment to say the Pledge of Allegiance. That's great. Every single person on our side supported that. Now, I don't think he really genuinely cares about saying the Pledge of Allegiance, but he wanted to do it, again, to own the libs and to see if we would vote against it. We didn't. But who did he bring in here to say the Pledge of Allegiance? Who did he parade in here in a uniform? Somebody that he met at a gun club, he said, locally. Okay. Mr. Cicilline had the crazy idea that maybe we should vet the people who come in here, make sure they're not insurrectionists. Mr. McClintock, I am not kidding you. Mr. McClintock said, well, it's not like we're going to invite somebody who committed murder. No, he literally said that. It's not like we're going to invite somebody who committed murder. Okay, well, who did Mr. Gaetz bring? He brought Corey Beekman. Corey Beekman in 2019 was in a standoff with the Michigan police after he was arrested and charged with murder, assault with intent to commit murder, and 2 counts of felony firearm possession. The family of the victims said Mr. Gaetz doing that, it was like getting a dagger stuck in our heart again. We were infuriated when we first saw it. I was disgusted with the whole thing. That's why there's a trust deficit here. You pull off a public stunt to try and own the libs, and what you did was you brought in a guy who allegedly shot 2 people and killed one of them. That's where the trust deficit is. So you can play your games, conduct your stunts. We're here to get shit done.
I mean, I don't think there's a more effective message to combat the absurdity of the modern Republican Party and specifically House Republicans than you can do all your political stunts. We're here to get stuff done. And I hope the stuff the Democrats are going to try to get done, obviously, are as good as possible. And so many times they're not where I want them to be, but compared to the GOP, there just is no comparison with where the focus is. And Democrats actually have been putting forward proposals and pushing for policy that would improve the lives of Americans, while Republicans are just doing all of this nonsense to win political points, to attack the other side, not to attack the other side on things that they want in a real way, but just to attack the other side for attacking the other side's sake, right? That's all it's about. It's just to rile up their base. It's just to get those points with their base, as I said. And it's really enraging because we have so many actual issues in the country. And we're spending time talking about this garbage. We're spending time talking about Matt Gaetz bringing in someone who allegedly shot people, and I will note he wasn't convicted of that, but he was indeed charged. And the individual case to me is not what's relevant in this discussion. It's the absurdity, it's the political stunts, and while that's being focused on, real issues aren't. And that is what is so aggravating, so enraging about all of this. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get the full bonus show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley. Link in the description.